Hey everyone, so we're gonna get back to it. I know it's been a few days since I've posted. We're gonna start at the back of the mat, have fun. So we did a bit more mobility than any other week in this one. So I'm gonna start off with some fun mobility stability drills that you can kind of transverse or use for your handstands. We're gonna get to the back of our mat. Get down to all fours, lift your knees. We're gonna lift our left hand and bring our right foot forward at the same time while protracting. We're just walking forward in a bear walk, making sure everything's even at the end of our mat, pointing our fingers outwards. We're just gonna keep our knees up and go back and forth, warming up our wrists here. Fingers forward. We're gonna knee tap both sides. If you can lean a little bit farther forward into it, go for it. And then we're gonna make our way back. So left foot, right hand, opposite side, keeping everything nice and low, making our way back, and then walking all the way up. Halfway lift. From here, we're just gonna walk all the way to the front of the mat, keeping ourselves in a high plank, bringing our left leg up, and then just reaching. From there, bringing your hands around, back into a reach, and then making our way back. Halfway lift, bringing our hands down, walking to the front, bringing the right foot up, reaching up, reaching around the right foot this time, toes up, bringing that back, foot back, coming back. Halfway lift. We're gonna bear walk back to the front again. So right or left arm, right foot, nice and strong. Keeping things playful here. We're just gonna go back and forth into a floating child's type pose, and then shoulders over our wrists for about 5 times. 2 more. 1 last one. Now we're gonna make our way back. We're gonna go left hand, right foot, left hand. We're just kind of making sure to always do the opposite and keeping everything stable. Coming up to halfway lift, walking our hands out. Nice and strong in our plank. We're gonna bring our hips down this time. Back up to a high plank. We're doing that for 3, 2, 1 more. On this one, we're gonna bring our knee as high as we can and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that foot out. We're gonna rotate towards the outside of our mat first. Bring those hips up. Really protract through that arm. Reach up with your hand. We're gonna rotate to Skandasana or Kozak squat. And then from here, reaching on a 45 from your hip. Just kind of getting nice into that groin stretch, kind of allowing that to open up for a second. Making our way back to the front. Going into a active pigeon, and then we're going to repeat everything on the opposite side. So active in a sense that this leg is really pushing into the ground. And then we're going to start off with knee raises. So hands either floating on our fingertips. We're going to lift that knee up and then back down. So if you can go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now to make the other half of this active, we're going to, did I lose volume here? No, we're good. We're going to hinge forward for 5, 4. Let's see if you can do that without your hands and just using that glute for the last 3, 2, and 1. Hands back underneath your shoulders, back to plank. Slowly walking our hands back to the back of the mat. Halfway lift. This time we're going to make an active halfway lift. We're going to bring our hands back. Using your hamstrings and all the muscles of your core, you're pulling yourself tight, tight, tight together, really making in length. Trying to get a bit more depth. Crown towards the ground, really getting everything tight from your low stomach, belly button, probably mid stomach to that upper thigh. Halfway lift. Walk back. We're gonna do our 3 upward facing dog with our feet tucked to a high plank. That's 1, 2, 3. We're gonna bring that knee in and hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That hand's gonna come out on the outside, or the foot, sorry, outside of the hand. Rotate away from the opposite side. So we're going towards, if it's our right foot, towards our toes, rotating out, bringing that hip really high, reaching up. From here, we're just gonna rotate on that heel and come in towards the Skandasana. Really nice and tall with our spine. We're gonna reach and make it active. So you're pushing into that ground with your feet, really making yourself tall in your spine. Everything pushing down, feeling the length coming in here. Making our way back forward. Big breath, maybe a few rocks here if you feel like you need a bit more love on this side. If you need some more on the opposite, you can kind of just switch your legs and give it a bit extra. We're gonna bring that foot back, nice and tall plank. We're gonna walk our hands back to the back of the mat. Halfway lift, making this one active as well. So fists down, hinging. For another 3, squeezing everything together. 2, 1. Awesome. We're just gonna stretch our wrists just a little bit more and then get into the play. So the next week is essentially our last week. We're gonna have 3 extra days after it. We're rarely working into shapes after this week. So today's gonna be one last fun day of just pushing a few like little grinding pose type things. But next week is truly about stability. So for that reason, we're gonna do a little bit more on our wrists. So just fingers towards ourselves. We did a lot of extension. We didn't do any flexion there. So big breath. Maybe bring your weight forward and back. And don't forget, if you're ever feeling anything on the inside towards the thumb, towards the rad radius, that's okay. So anything on this side, anything on the outside of your hand, bad, take a break, kind of rehab that. Make sure you take care of it. That being said, grab your blocks. If you don't have blocks for this whole series, I hope you're using like little children benches or something creative, maybe high weights, like 80 pounders or 70, something that's a little bit higher. Maybe 10s, I don't even know how high those would be off the ground. That would be essentially be like this, perfect. So we're gonna go into little asanas. We're gonna go from little asanas, bringing our feet underneath us to a squat and then back. So nice and wide. If you can go to that high level, we'll do 5 here, repeat it twice, and then we're gonna hold a 5-second hold. So hands on our blocks, even with our hips or a little bit kind of dead center of them. Push through our arms before we go, biceps forward, lift your legs, go into that squat. See if you can come down and then back up. So we're adding some mobility into this. Lift the feet, down. Everything nice and controlled. So that's one. We're doing 5, arms straight, biceps forward. 2. Oh, the front of my legs are so tight from my run today. Down. We're going for 3. Maybe push. See if you can lift those legs and then come down. We're going for 4. And last one. Awesome. So a little breath. Make sure you open up. So whenever we're doing a lot of protracting, which is everything for handstanding, make sure we work the opposite between and just open up in our back, kind of allow the opposing muscles to get some loving. So we're gonna go for round 2. This time around, if it's too hard to squat, maybe just stay higher in it. That's completely fine. It's just more about the action of pushing here. So we're gonna go for it. Big breath. Let's go. So push, feet into flex. Maybe stay high this time. Bring it back. That's 1. We're gonna go a little bit faster. Bring those feet up. That's 2. 3. 4. Last one, we're gonna hold this one after our squat for 5 seconds. So make your way up, squat. Maybe we'll work our way down into the squat if you're able to. And then we're gonna bring our hands to the blocks. So you're staying your feet as high as you can into your sit bones for 5 seconds. So let's go for it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okay, so the next part we're gonna do, still needing a block, we're gonna do some crow play. So we've done crow where you shoot your leg back. That might have been ridiculously insane. Might have just kind of tumbled all over the place. But that to me is actually a little bit easier than what we're doing here, but some might find that harder. This might be harder. It all depends on what strengths you have. This is gonna require your abdominal strength to pull your leg back and your hip flexor as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into crow. We're doing this 3 times each side. You're gonna bring your knee down to that block and then bring it back up. We're gonna do one side at a time, times 3, then the opposite side. So this is a drill. This is something that you're thinking protracting. So yeah, let's do this together. We'll do it step by step. Fingers forward, biceps forward. We're gonna protract, keep that really nice U shape or square, whichever way you wanna think of that. Knee will go down, then back up. We're repeating that times 3. If you need to break it down, that's okay. Now we're gonna do the opposite side. So big breath for setting in. Exhale, knees to your elbows, just because you wanna be able to move. Know where the block is, come down. Try not to move your arms at all. Back up, that's 1. If you need to break it down in 3, that's okay. If not, 2. Back up. 1 last one. Awesome. Big breath. I know if you've never done anything like this, I'm making it look way too easy. This has taken me work. This has taken a long time. This is no joke. This is from a lot of experience, a lot of time on the mat. Don't think I got this overnight. I don't want anyone thinking that that's my story. It's not true at all. Let's do the opposite side. If you feel like you don't need the block, maybe go center then back. So I'll show that option on this side, but if that was hard, use the block, go with it, make your growth as it comes. So let's go forward, big breath in, exhale, big breath, go knee to elbows, right knee to center, then back in to your knee. So if it's on the block, go to the block, then back up. So 2, bring it down, bring it back to your elbow. Make sure you're keeping your elbows in. I'm starting to flare out there, it loses strength. Last one, knee to the center, back on that tricep. Awesome work, guys. Okay, so this week we did learn how to do Pincha. So I'm gonna show you guys a way to open your chest from there. Because everything we're doing is like this. Let's get a bit of hollow back in. So you're gonna wanna bring your mat really close to the wall. This is our last drill before our holds. It should feel good. It all depends. It's quite a strange sensation the first time. You're actually gonna have your fingertips together. So whenever we're doing pincha, we're looking through our arms. It's completely the opposite of, so a hollow back pincha, sorry. Whenever we're doing a hollow back, your hands are together instead of parallel, and you're going through, and you're looking to make all the space by bringing your chest through. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll stay there for a count of 10 to 20. You go for whatever feels right. We're gonna be using the wall a lot here. Well, essentially the whole drill. And I'd recommend like 3 times 5 or 2 rounds of 10, whatever feels comfortable for you at first, and kind of build up. But this is the opposing to handstanding and everything else. It's what allows you to kind of straighten out your line with time, is having open chest, open upper body, you know, with everything else. I obviously need to do these more because this is what I keep saying on here that I'm lacking. It is an open chest. So let's go for it. Hands together. You're about an inch away, nothing more. You'll see it seems really close, but don't get me wrong, you need it. So hands almost touching just to stay off. Elbows pretty much in that shape of your headstand. We're gonna bring our butt to the wall behind us. So this is gonna be a strange feeling at first. You are able to do this. If not, you would just go in a headstand and you're fine there anyways. So all of your forearms are planted into the ground. Big breath in. We're gonna flip over. So you're really looking to back bend here and think chest forward, chest forward. This is all through the upper body. So if you want to go for it, go for it. I'm staying here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To come out, you just bend your leg on the wall and push yourself off. So that was one round of, let's say 10 seconds, just because I was talking first. If you want to do 3 rounds of 5, I really recommend that. Kind of get used to the feeling of this. Do this on your off time as well. This will really make your upper body feel great. It's a great way to work into wheel as well if it's not a pose you have in your back pocket yet. But I'm not going to make you do this 3 times right now. If it's something that's not accessible, take your time going through it. Maybe repeat this section of the video, but do learn it. It's really going to help you out. Let's go for our holds. We're going to do 15, 15, 20, 20. I know, that's a lot. We're going to do things in between. Maybe the 2 15s right off the hop, that's okay. But the last 2 20s, we're going to breathe between them. So first breath is to just breathe. We're not doing nose to toes. We're just going to do regular holds today. It's been a little bit, so we'll go for that. If you can find balance, especially in these first 2, go for it. Think belly button moving away from the wall until your feet float off. If they don't, just think belly button stacking over your shoulders. You make those feet feel light until they don't need to be there anymore. Otherwise, keep them on. You're not looking to kick off. That's not the point. That's not what we're trying to find here or learn. So, that being said, let's go for it. Even though we're not going nose to toes, try to bring your hands a bit closer than you normally would or feel comfortable. We want to become comfortable there through exposure, and that's what we're doing. So big breath in. So that was breath to set, and this is breath to go. So we're going for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I kind of laughed there, and my mic tickled my cheek. Oh, I'm so sorry if you heard that too. Big breaths in. So yeah, the mic tickled my cheek there a bit, and just caught me off guard. Kind of lost focus. Handstanding is a meditative shape,
So you're truly needing to focus on what you're doing, breathing, and kind of finding that balance. Maybe the only thing you really think about is belly button leaving the wall, and that's it. Maybe you're thinking pushing through radius and knuckles and really finding the balance there, then belly button away. But just small breaths, maybe just connecting to your breath. Anything else might be too much. And as soon as something else is there that you weren't thinking of, it might be what makes you come back to the wall, and that's fine.
So we're gonna do another rep. I'm gonna see if I can kind of tuck this in a bit better to see if that stops everything from moving, because I'm sure you're hearing that. So big breath into set. Big, next breath is to go. So we're gonna protract, fingers forward. I like looking to the wall. We're going for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, big breath. So that was our first 30. And then we're gonna add another 2 20s. So that makes 110. We're gonna be over our minute by 10 seconds. So we're slowly progressing. We're gonna make our way through this entire challenge at 130. And everything you do after that is bonus. You have the strength, the float. It's just practicing headstand to learning where your body is, the proprioception, really working that hollow body shape so you know how to pull your belly button away from the wall once you're there in hand. Not thinking feet kicking off, because then you're just kind of going into a hollow back shape. Maybe using that block for your holds. I can do that one next one actually. So if you're good to do that for 20 seconds, try it out. This might be the first time we do it. If not, if you've tried it and played with it, awesome. This is really gonna make you use your core in the right way. That being said, let's stretch a little bit first. So we're gonna do our regular hands on knee, kind of cactus, chest forward. You wanna think of that elbow at least even or a little bit higher than your shoulder. And then the same thing, I like just doing one arm at a time. We're actually gonna bring chest down. We're thinking both shoulders being square, elbow up, and you're bringing your chest towards the wall. Try to keep that hollow body shape. It's more to get into your lats and your pecs. Opposite side now. So cactus on this side, a little bit higher in your shoulder, pushing towards it. Now, single arm on this side. It's the same thing as you do on the block. It's just if you don't have a block, this makes it easier. We're bringing our hand towards our shoulders, that cat shape in our spine, and just breathing in as we push our body towards that elbow, bringing it farther down. This is a good tip to kind of get into cow face, your grip for that, for your arms, if you have trouble bringing your hand down your back. One more breath. Okay. So I'm gonna do the 20s with a block, working on compression here. So if I don't have a float off the wall, completely fine, but I'm not letting go of that block. I'm holding that hollow body and thinking belly button going away from the wall. If there's float, always a win. If not, I'm still building the fundamentals for all of this, right? So it's all game. We're all winning here. We're all making progress. This is how you grow. This is how you handstand. So I'm going to hold that really tight. Big breath in first. Doesn't really matter which way you make your way up. I like bringing the one with the block in first to the wall. So we're going for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So much harder to hold that block there. Okay. So what made that difficult for me, or to my perspective, is that my shoulders are quite tight, so I need to bring my hands closer. I was really fighting my body because I couldn't stack properly. So if you felt like that was a lot of strange sensations, it does get easier with time as well. So from here, we're just gonna pretend we're grabbing your shirt, lifting it above our head, and switching sides. So I went like that, switch to the opposite. We're doing that 3 times each side. One more. This feels so good. One more each arm. Okay, last hold. Go with the block or not. I'm gonna do it again. See if it feels better on the opposite side. It is something I need to work on. I truly feel like it's easier for me if I just jump into the pose, but we're not there at all. Let's do it this way. Get a bit closer, see how she goes. I just don't want to be, I'm not looking to be fake here or anything. If I was to tell you that was easy, that's a complete lie. If the block fell out for you, completely fine. So, going on the right side this time. Let's make sure nothing unplugs by doing that. Okay. So big breath in to set. I'm gonna try and bring my hands a bit closer this time. Index forward, biceps forward. Second breath, we're going up.
So we're 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. I'm not getting no float here. This is not easier. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So either way, I promise you that the next time you go up without a block, it's much easier. So learning that shape, hollow body, is such a game changer. So practicing in that way will get you better. It just doesn't make it easier by any means. So that being said, let's go into our little rotator cuff stretch. And then from there, we are done for today. So thank you so much for jumping in. We'll do this side first. So elbow behind, wrist behind, elbow in front. Nice and tall in your chest, really long spine. If you want to kind of rotate through this pose, it makes it easier if you look away. I kind of like breathing in towards it. As you square off your shoulders, whew, the sensation, it increases quite a bit. Awesome. Let's go to the opposite side. So, once again, if anyone has any questions from anything they've learned so far, if you've made gains, I've had quite a few of those messages lately where people are showing me like, I've held my longest headstand, I've held my first headstand, I've held my first row. If you have any of those coming, please share with me. If you have any questions though on why you're not able to do these, I'd be happy to see a video kind of point out to you little tips and tricks, what could help. And if you're feeling pain in places that you don't think you should, also message me. That's not my goal. That being said, if you do any of these classes, you should make sure you're in good health first. These are not easy, but hopefully you're enjoying this process. One more big breath. Actually, we'll do 2 more. I cannot rotate as much on this side. It is tight. Awesome. So from here, just to kind of finish things off, we're just gonna take 3 breaths together. If you like this video, please share it. Please comment below, let me know what you thought. But otherwise, let's connect to our breath one last time. Big breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. We'll do 2 more, but just through the nose. In through your nose. Pause. And an exhale through your nose. One last one. Pause. And an exhale. If you need a few breaths, just keep on going with it. Otherwise, cheers. Thank you so much for playing along with me.